The rumble of the diesel engine echoed down Willow Creek Drive. Not a car, not a truck, not even a motorcycle. It was the sound of a tractor. Neighbors peered from behind their curtains, some sipping coffee, others whispering to each other. To most, it was harmless, just a man finishing up his lawn work. But to one person, it was a threat. And that person was Lillian Prescott, the HOA president, a woman whose reputation for control was almost legendary in the subdivision. By sundown, what started as the simple parking of a tractor would explode into a showdown that left the entire neighborhood in shock, because the man she tried to humiliate wasn't just any homeowner. He was the one person she should have never messed with. Harold Hal Johnson had lived in Willow Creek Estates for only a few months. He had moved there with his wife and teenage son, hoping for peace after years of running his business day and night. Hal wasn't flashy. He didn't host loud parties or blast music. He was quiet, polite, and hard-working. But he owned something the HOA hated, a tractor. Hal had grown up around machines. His father was a mechanic, and Hal followed in his footsteps, eventually building his own company from scratch, Johnson's Towing and Recovery. Over 2 decades, it became the largest towing and recovery business in the county. From 18-wheelers to farm equipment, Hal and his crew could move anything, anywhere. The tractor wasn't just a machine to him. It was part of who he was. And since his property had an oversized garage, he sometimes parked it neatly in his driveway after mowing. To his neighbors, it was no big deal. To Lillian, the HOA president, it was an eyesore. The morning after Hal parked his tractor, an email arrived. Mr. Johnson, your tractor violates HOA Code 14B. No farm or commercial vehicles may be parked in driveways. Remove immediately or face daily fines. Hal chuckled. He thought it was ridiculous. A tractor wasn't commercial in the way they described. It was his private property, used on his own land. So he ignored it. But ignoring Lillian Prescott was the worst mistake anyone could make. The next day, Hal's wife noticed Lillian standing at the end of their driveway, snapping pictures of the tractor. She didn't wave. She didn't smile. She just clicked, and stormed off. That evening, Hal found a letter taped to his front door in bold red print. Final notice. Remove tractor or it will be removed for you. Hal shook his head. Unbelievable, he muttered. They can't tow something off private property. That's trespassing. But he underestimated just how far Lillian was willing to go. Saturday morning. The sun was barely up when Hal heard it, the low grind of a tow truck engine. He stepped onto his porch and froze. A massive tow truck rolled slowly down the street, stopping right in front of his house. Behind it, standing proudly like a queen who'd won a battle, was Lillian Prescott herself, clipboard in hand. The driver hopped out, confused. We got a call about a vehicle to remove. Lillian pointed dramatically at the tractor. There it is. Get it out of here. Now. Hal walked down his driveway calmly, but inside, his blood boiled. Neighbors began spilling out of their homes, phones in hand, eager to see what drama was about to unfold. The driver scratched his head. Ma'am, that's a tractor. We don't normally tow farm equipment, especially not from someone's driveway. Lillian snapped, her voice shrill. You work for me. I don't care how you do it. Just tow it. This neighborhood will not look like a barnyard. The crowd murmured. Some nodded. Others shook their heads. But everyone's eyes shifted to Hal. Hal looked at the driver, then at Lillian, then slowly pulled something from his pocket. It wasn't a wallet. It wasn't an ID. It was a small, shiny badge with a logo etched into it. Johnson's Towing and Recovery. The driver froze. His jaw dropped. Wait, you're Hal Johnson? As in, Johnson's Towing? Hal gave a slow nod. That's right. And you, my friend, you work for me. The driver stepped back, stunned. Lillian blinked, not comprehending. What are you talking about? He's just... No, ma'am, the driver interrupted. He's the owner of the biggest towing company in the county. He owns the trucks. He signs the paychecks. The crowd gasped. Phones zoomed in. Lillian's confidence crumbled. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Hal stepped closer, his voice low but firm. "You call my company to tow my own tractor." The driver glanced at Hal, then at Lillian, and shook his head. "Yeah, we're not touching this." "Sorry, ma'am. We're leaving." As the truck rumbled away, neighbors erupted, some laughing, some cheering. Lillian's face turned scarlet. She sputtered, This is harassment. You can't." Hal raised a hand, silencing her. "What's harassment is being targeted for using my own property on my own land. You think rules give you power, but today you learned something. Power doesn't come from fear. It comes from truth." The silence was deafening. Even the neighbors who once sided with Lillian looked down at their feet. Hal turned, climbed back onto his tractor, and started the engine. The deep rumble echoed louder than ever. Not just a sound of machinery, but a sound of defiance. That day, the HOA learned that Hal wasn't a man to be bullied. He wasn't just a homeowner with a tractor. He was a man who owned the trucks, the business, and the respect of the entire county. Lillian disappeared into her house, her clipboard clutched tight, her power slipping through her fingers. And Hal? He drove his tractor proudly into his garage, knowing that no matter what the HOA tried next, the neighborhood would never forget this day. Because in Willow Creek Estates, one truth had been exposed for all to see. Sometimes the man they try to tow away is the one towing the whole town.